Good evening, everyone. We'd like to welcome you on behalf of FOSS Consulting to our webinar tonight. We will be discussing on how to transition from bedside nursing jobs to remote nursing jobs, work from home, making up to 6 figures. And tonight we have our wonderful host, Dr. John, as well as a panelist who will be sharing with us. And I'd like to first begin with asking where our attendees are from. If you guys could type in the chat where you're from, where you're joining, where you're connecting from, and your name, that would be great. I'd like to shout you out, and then we'll begin our presentation. Let's see. I have Sanam from Bronx, New York. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Dominique from California. Thank you for joining us. Joy from Georgia. Thank you for joining us. And I'm actually also located in Georgia as well. So nice to see someone from the same state. Welcome, everyone. All right. So here we go. Today we will be discussing how to transition from bedside nursing jobs to remote nursing jobs, working from home, and making up to 6 figures. Oh, we have a few people joining us here. Amber here from South Carolina. Well, currently in South Carolina, but also live in Tennessee. I'm sorry, that's Amanda from South Carolina as well. Kelly from Chicago. All right. I love the Windy City. It's actually where originally I am from. So thank you for joining us. I hope you're not getting too much snow up there. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and jump into our presentation. If we can go to the next slide. So today, let's meet Dr. John. He's an international medical graduate, an associate director at a Tier 1 academic medical center in Atlanta, Georgia, a certified clinical documentation specialist and certified coding specialist. He has assisted with other IMGs or international medical graduates, as well as nurses landing high-paying healthcare jobs in great hospitals here in the United States. And he has past working experience as a healthcare consultant at one of the big 4 firms in the United States. So today we'd like to go ahead and let Dr. John take it away.
Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you all to tonight's webinar. I know you guys are calling from all over the US, probably from California, from Georgia, Chicago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And first of all, I just want to say thank you for joining this webinar. It's dedicated to nurses. And first of all, I want to say a shout out to all the nurses who made a great impact at the COVID from 2019, 2020. I just wanted to say thank you for all that you do. I have a soft spot for nurses because my sister is a nurse. So I have a soft spot for nurses, and this webinar is dedicated solely for you. So if you are here tonight, you will have the best use of your I would say less than 60 minutes to go now with us at FOSS Consulting LLC. I want to just, by way of introduction, let you know who this webinar is for. And I wanted to know that if you are tired of bedside nursing, I use tired in quotes because if I mean your healthcare provider and you're giving service, it's never a waste of time. But physically, if you're tired of doing the rounds, traffic every morning and all that, you want to transition into a different role, this webinar is for you. Are you looking to do more administrative work? This webinar is for you. Are you looking to work from home, from the comfort of your home? This webinar is for you. Are you wanting more flexibility around your work schedule? This webinar is for you. I'm glad you joined. Anyone who wants to work just Monday to Friday and you have weekends off, amazing. I'm excited. This webinar is for you. And I would love to just go ahead and activate our first polling question. Let me just know by it's a very easy question. Are you a licensed registered nurse living in the United States? Awesome. I see we have some answers coming in already. If you know any nurse who needs to be in this webinar, please forward the link for them to quickly register and jump in. I would give the next 60 seconds. And anybody who stays through this webinar, you get a free ebook. You'll be amazed what is in there. Okay, I see people responding. Okay, go ahead. Okay, we have 100% of everybody in the US, which is amazing. Licensed, registered, living in the United States. The reason why I ask this question, because sometimes we have nurses who are from other countries trying to transition into the US system. So if you've answered that, that's awesome. All right. We've shared the poll. We are 100%. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Another polling question, guys. And that will be it for the first few minutes before I go into. So please go ahead and respond. If you have less than 2 years experience as a nurse, okay. If you have greater than 2 years, I see that most of our participants do have greater than 2 years experience as an RN. Awesome. Okay, I'll wait for the next 10 seconds just to get more people responding. All right. Okay, we have 83% of our participants with greater than 2 years of nursing experience. Awesome. Great work, everyone. All right, let's get into some of the business of the day. Okay. Now, I'm going to share my story with you because before I even do that, I was just going to give you our promise. Our promise to you at this webinar is, number one, at the end of this webinar, you will be able to identify various high-paying nursing career options, working from home. You will get practical steps on how to break into a specialty nursing field. Amazing working from home, making a decent income, and maximum, note that word, maximum flexibility. And I'm going to share my story with you, and it's a very, very, very interesting story. I graduated medical school in the year 2016. That's just a few years ago. And one thing about graduating from a medical school not in the US is that you have to work twice as hard to transition into the US system. And one thing that happened to me in 2016, bittersweet. I graduated medical school, which is sweet. The bitter part of it was eviction notice. Because I didn't have an income, I didn't have an earning. And that was a wake-up call for me to begin to research, because as a medical graduate from a foreign country, you need to complete your residency program for you to land a job as a medical doctor in the US and practice medicine. I'm sure most of you see a lot of foreign medical doctors on your unit. Yes. Go in the chat book and tell me if you know one Nigerian doctor, because I'm Nigerian. I'm proudly Nigerian and African. Go in your chat room. Let me know if you know any Nigerian doctor, Ghanaian doctor, foreign doctors from Egypt, from Mexico. Let me know in the chat box if you know any foreign medical doctor. I need some action. I need some activity. I see. Let me send a response. I am LP and not RN. Okay. Yes, a lot. Joy says a lot. Awesome. Guys, I need your participation because we are going to enjoy this webinar. We have a lot in store. Okay, I see some responses coming in. Work several years with over the years. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to tell you that that's one of the things that is common. So for those who are yet to get into residency, there are some alternate paths way, and a specialty nursing opportunity opened up. And as I got into CDI, and as you go along the webinar, you know what CDI is all about. Now, after working the CDI job, typically 80% of the people who work in CDI are registered nurses. And these are people who have transitioned from bedside nursing into CDI, into clinical operational integrity. And most of my colleagues back then were all RNs. So I'm like, why in the world would most nurses not know about this opportunity? So I said, okay, I'm going to make this a point of call for many nurses who are trying to transition from bedside nursing to working from home. And that is one of the specialty nursing fields we'll be talking about later on in the webinar. From 2016 to 2018, I worked as a CDI specialist. Then from that opportunity as a CDI specialist, I landed a job at one of the big fours in the US. Big four companies are like EY, like Deloitte, PwC. And guess what? Most of my colleagues were nurses. I'm not kidding. One of my best work colleague, her name is, I won't tell you her name because it's confidential, right? She's a nurse, an RN, and she has great ICU experience and relevant in a top big four company that will go to hospitals and we help them through their nursing labor throughput and become very influential. So if you want healthcare consulting jobs that will pay you, and the starting pay is above it's about 100,000 over. I know most of the nurses made a killing. Most of the traveling nurses made a killing during COVID, and after a while that would plateau because things are opening back up, But the major point is, with this opportunity, you can get into healthcare consulting. From there, that's what I did. And what happened after that, I then transitioned from healthcare consulting into senior management as an associate director at a tier 1 academic medical center in the US. And when I saw that there was a big need for nurses who are trying to transition but don't know how to do that, I founded Force Consulting LLC to help IMGs, nurses, and all other healthcare professionals land high-paying jobs. So that's a brief story of my own experience and my journey. But the beautiful thing I'm going to talk about is, number one, for you to make a change, there must first be mindset shift. Now, there's this quote I love so much. It says, everything great or small first starts at the thought level, which evolves into action, and action produces results. I'm trying to encourage somebody who has thought of just being in one spot. You're doing this for 30, 40, 15, 10, 5 years, and you said, I think I want to try something. Everything first starts in the mind. If you believe it, it can happen. If you believe you can transition, it can happen. It starts in the mind. And I have this quote. It's a scriptural quote. I'm not ashamed of my faith. It says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. If you think, what you think about on a regular basis forms your thoughts, forms your action, and it becomes your life. So if you think that nothing can happen, you must always be you must stay where you are, then you can pivot into something great. And I know a lot of nurses who are doing well away from the bedside and doing things that they love to do. Now, the next quote is by Andrew Carnegie, and it's about mindset again. He said, I am no longer cursed by poverty because I took possession of my own mind, and that mind has yielded me every material thing I want and much more than I need. But this power of mind is a universal one, available to the humblest person as it is to the greatest. Amazing quote. And I want you to know that this is how great people think. And for one thing I want to talk about, which would be from mindset shift, it goes to the next part, which is the changing healthcare landscape. As you know, traditional healthcare is evolving fast. to the healthcare of the future, which will rely heavily on big data, data analytics, measurement of healthcare outcomes, AI. I'm sure that's the buzzword everywhere. AI. The tech industry, they've done well with AI, but now a lot of companies are looking for people with healthcare background, people like you who have nursing background, to be able to apply concepts and solve problems with the knowledge of nursing, healthcare knowledge, and technology. So they need people who can interpret and help them decode some complex medical terminology and based on treatment regimen and all that to apply in the tech world. So there is a ton of position. If you go on Indeed now and type in healthcare AI, you find a ton of jobs. And one of the most flexible, I would say one of the most flexible profession in the world is a nursing profession. As a nurse, you're nimble, you are agile, you can work in any space. You'll be amazed. In the legal phrase, there's something called legal nursing. You can be a legal nurse. Some of them also work from home these days. That's the beauty about nursing. Now, and then another thing I want to talk about the healthcare of the future, it relies heavily on genomic sequencing. What happened with COVID, how they sequenced the DNA, mRNA from the COVID virus is because of genomic sequencing. And they need people with your background. Predictive and prescriptive medicine, that's another field. Guys, that is the future of healthcare. That is where healthcare is moving to. So it's moving, bedside nursing, yes, but guess what? Where it's going to all these places. And blockchain, robotics. There's someone I know who is working in all this space blockchain, and they are making a killing and also impacting the world at a larger scale. So one of the things that has stood as a fact for a while is that there's a nugget that I wanted to know that most nurses experience this. And is the average nurse is clinically sound? Yes. Your nursing, your education, your healthcare education, but data analytically deficient, in their practice. And the healthcare landscape is rapidly changing on a global level. And to remain relevant and well-positioned for healthcare careers of the future, one must be data friendly and technologically savvy. So guys, I'm telling you tonight that if you want to be relevant 10 years, 12, 20 years from now, you must combine you must learn and adapt quickly to data. And most of the nursing leadership in hospital, CNOs, they will tell you everything is in the data. Everything's in data. And if you don't understand how to process data, how to pivot, do pivot tables, all those things, you would be stranded in pivoting into the administrative part of nursing. Guys, you can ask questions in the Q&A tab while we go along. I'm going to spend some time on this map. This map is what I developed. And these are all the opportunities for nurses, even in the healthcare space. You can pivot into what we call healthcare technology and clinical informatics. These are amazing opportunities. You can be a nurse informaticist. You can be digital health data scientist. You can be an Epic consultant. That's healthcare IT. These are all opportunities available for you. As with your background, you can pivot into big pharma, medical affairs. You can pivot into public health, epidemiology. Population health is huge. You are looking for nurses who have a background in nursing, in the ICU, med-surg, ED experiences, and other specialties. So the opportunities are endless. So I developed this chart to let you know that there are opportunities. There are over 50 opportunities available for nurses to pivot and go into jobs that will make you work from home. genomics, like I said earlier, diagnostic laboratory. The nursing opportunities are endless. And that is what I've captured into this healthcare career map. Now, there are some top 5 decent paying nursing jobs. Number 1, I'm going to talk about tonight, for those who are taking notes, is nursing informatics. And guess what, guys? According to ZipRecruiter, that's one of the big job websites. Look at it. Average of national $102,000. And you can see the extreme, about close to $200,000. And all they need is what? A graduate degree, high level degree, either Bachelor of Nursing, Associate diploma from an accredited professional nursing educational program is required. Guys, the opportunities are endless. The next top decent paying job that moves you from Bedside is what I discussed about healthcare management consulting. That is huge, guys. The likes of Goldman Sachs, the likes of NEY, the likes of Deloitte are looking for people with your experience, people with your background to come help them solve complex problems. Value-based purchasing, value-based care, that is the future. And that is why I've decided to organize this webinar so that you would know the opportunities that are out there and you can pivot. You don't have to be a bedside nurse for 50 years. You can pivot. You can, there's something called job sculpting. And that is what we do at Force Consulting. We'll help you to sculpt and piece your career together and help you pivot into something that would help you be flexible with work-life balance and help you be impactful in the world at large. And this also, the basic requirements are very, very, very easy. Minimum 3 years of healthcare experience. You guys, most of you, I think I said 83% had over 2 years experience in nursing. So number 1, you can get this job. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is number 3, healthcare IT consultant. And this is, most of you, okay, let's do this in the chat box. If you can do this for me. What EMR software, electronic medical record, are you using currently in your hospital where you work? What EMR software are you using? Epic, Cerner, McKesson, whatever? Please type in the chat box. I want to read out some. Someone said Cerner, Epic. Okay, I think Cerner takes the win here. Any other person, Epic? Okay. All right. Okay, Cerner takes the lead here. So why I did that is because a lot of people, okay, none at this time, still paper chat, okay, use Epic multiple times, awesome. So with your knowledge of Epic or Cerner, you can get into Epic consultancy roles. And most hospitals, when they are about to go live, they need elbow support for physicians. With your nursing background, guys, you're number 1 on the list to get the job. So you can do this job. And most of these jobs, they fly you to the hospital, they pay for hotel, room and board, they give you a per diem. It's just amazing. The perks are amazing. Your hotel points skyrockets, you get mileage, everything you need. And that's the beauty about the flexibility that is, so if you have plans for those who are planning to retire, for those who are middle-aged, you want to, or your kids are already in high school, or you want some variety, or you're a single mom, you want some variety in your portfolio, in your nursing portfolio, you can be an IP consultant or Cerner consultant or healthcare IT consultant is what it's called, healthcare IT consultant. And look at what they make, over $116,000, you know, and that's the medium, that's the median. It can go as high as $145,000. Okay. Now, and the third one, the first one I'm going to talk about is medical affairs. Medical affairs. Medical affairs, these are opportunities that would help you You can work in big pharma. Those are areas those are areas that with your knowledge you can pivot into those careers. And the average salary there is what, $113,422, and it goes as high as $260,000. And they need your background as a nurse to get into those careers. Now, the fifth one and the last I'm going to talk about, I have a free ebook that if you can wait to the end of this webinar, you will get access to the free ebook tonight that has over 50 options for you as a healthcare provider, as a nurse to explore, and it's going to be for free tonight. So on top, part of the top 5 decent paying jobs I have is number 5. I put this, the fifth one here is clinical documentation integrity specialist, and I'm going to spend some time here because this is very, very important. This one is let me by show, let me see if I can pull up the polling question, next polling question, because that way you know. Let me see. Okay, let me see. All right. Let me see how many of you have heard about CDI before today. Somebody said no, no, whoa, no, no, wow, no, 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 wow, no, wow. Okay, so I'm glad you joined because this is one opportunity you don't want to miss. It helps you balance all your education and nursing school, your experience on the floor, on the units, and balances it up together and helps you land, a wonderful job that keeps you learning, keeps you growing, and it's amazing. I'm going to talk about this a little bit. I'm going to end the poll and share the result. 100% said no. So I'm glad you joined tonight. I'm really glad you joined tonight. So what is clinical documentation integrity? Clinical documentation integrity, these are people who review the electronic medical record to ensure accurate capture of medical diagnosis that depicts the true clinical picture of the patient population. Guys, this is a job you can do from the comfort of your home. You can be changing diapers and you're working. You can order in your lunch and be working, reviewing charts, applying knowledge. I see somebody smiling there. Yeah, that's true. You can be changing diapers and working, So this is a profession where it helps you. All your nursing school knowledge is not going to waste. Your experience on the floor is not going to waste. The major thing that is required for this job is critical thinking skills. Critical thinking skills, very important. Ability to see with a 3D perspective. You're looking at the chart record. When the patient comes in and the documents in the record, you are able to review the record and accurately capture the medical diagnosis on the record. And you'll be amazed what opportunities are here with this profession. Now, I'm going to do this. The minimum qualification to be a CDI specialist is number 1, at least to be an RN, at least 2 to 3 years of clinical experience working in the ICU, medical surge, imaging department, and all that. I'm going to do another poll just to see how many of you here have this experience. So do you have ICU experience, method experience? Oh, somebody said both. Awesome. Wow. Both. I think both is wow. Okay, ICU. Somebody said order. If you don't mind going in the chat box and putting what other specialty you work in. Is it NICU? Nursing? Okay. All right. Okay. Somebody said ICU. So I think both. Let me share the result. Let me end this poll and share the results. Now you can see that 38% of you have both ICU and med-surg experience. Some people have ICU, some people have med-surg experience, and some other people have order. So let me read some of the other labor and delivery. Awesome. You can still do, definitely. because we have some cases that you'll review that are obstetric cases, OBGYN cases. So you will fit right in there for those kind of cases. Someone said float pool, med-surg, step down ICU, oncology. Fellow, you are actually people. Look, Hem-onc is one of the toughest specialty to review. So with your background in oncology, you can fit right in. Awesome. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, let me end this. Stop sharing this, and let me let you know how to now get into CDI. So there are some bodies that actually help you get into CDI. Get the certification. There's a body called ACDIS, or there's something called CDIP, and there's also what I call CDI apprenticeship certification by Access. And because you joined tonight, we have connections with Access, the body. You get a discount for the certification for the CDI apprenticeship. So just email us at the end. You'll get details about that later. Now, what are the job opportunities in CDI? They are amazing. You can be a CDI specialist, you can be a clinical validator, you can be a DRG reviewer, you can be a DRG reconciliation specialist, a CDI manager. You're not getting into management. You can be a CDI director. You can be a traveling CDI. If you love to visit cities, you want to go to Hawaii, you want to go to Las Vegas, there are jobs waiting for you. If you go on Indeed right now, don't leave this webinar though. Just go on after this webinar, go there. You will find tons of jobs that you can travel with. We have vice president CDI practice. And let me blow your mind, guys. The average earning potential in CDI is from $70,000 to $280,000, and is location dependent. You can work in California. It's location dependent. Based on and this income is based on that, and it's a referencing salary.com. Guys, the opportunities are endless, in the CDI profession. Now, how do you get into CDI? Oh, I'm glad you asked. So if you have your phone, go ahead and scan this QR code. Go ahead and scan this QR code, and that will take you into to a website where you can start walking through the process of getting CDIP certification and all that. You do not need, I repeat, you do not need certification to start your role in CDI as a nurse. For some reason, the CDI profession is, I would say, like I said, is almost 88% RN friendly, if not 100%, I would say, because most of the CDI specialists that work in organizations that I've been to are RNs. I would say for the most part, 90%. Very few IMGs, but I would say so that there's no excuse not to be a part of this or pivot into this profession, and we would give you a step-by-step process. Now, once you do that, how would you get your first? You have to rebrand your resume. There's something called resume rebranding, and it's highlighting your current experience, your ICU experience. For those who said on the poll, med-surg experience on your resume, and you will list out the things you've done and the kind of cases. If you see heart failure patients, septic patients, you will list it out. That's how you craft your resume, and that's what attracts the recruiters to calling you. And your LinkedIn profile, you have to know how to tailor your LinkedIn profile to getting CDI roles. And one thing I would suggest you do tonight is join your local Access chapter, ACDIS chapter in your state. Almost all the 50 states have a chapter. So join them and say, oh, I'm a nurse interested in getting into CDI. And I kind of emphasize the role of networking. Networking is the way to get into this job as well. Then if you've tried all this and it's not working, instead of going through all this, I have with Force Consulting, we have this Force Consulting online CDI course that will walk you through that process. It will go straight, 6 modules, self-paced. You can go into it and you would follow every step, and guess what? You would need results. You will get results. You will be able to learn into this job. And I also have a one-on-one coaching program that would help you. I will talk about that later. Now, I'm going to let the moderator take off from here, and I'll be back. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. John. I'd like to introduce our next panelist, who is Danita Boone. She's a registered nurse and a certified clinical documentation specialist who is currently working as a lead CDI specialist at one of the Tier 1 academic medical centers in the Atlanta area, making a decent income working from home. So we're going to go ahead and let her take it away. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for allowing me to share my testimony, my experience, and just encourage you all to take this leap. I'm a registered nurse. I've been a registered nurse for a little over 9 years. I worked on a pretty hard step-down med-surg floor for 3.5 years in New York State. Very, very fast-paced. And they always tell you when you start in nursing, start in med-surg. So that's what I did. And then from there, I branched out into inpatient PACU and took care of patients who mostly had ortho surgeries. And I did that for a little over 2 years. And then I moved to Atlanta. And there I began a job in PACU as well, inpatient PACU, and worked with different types of patients, but mostly transplant surgeries. And then from there, I kind of had a desire to do a little slower paced position. So I went outpatient, pre-op and PACU. It was less critical, very fun, but still very, very busy. And I wanted to do something that was just a little more manageable. I was on my feet, barely could take my breaks. And I love my patients. I love the care, but it was just, years of, just extremely hard work on my feet. And I just wanted to see what else was out there. So I looked internally and looked for a non-nurse or non-bedside nursing position. And I came across CDI. I never knew what CDI was, never heard of it. So I did some research and I became very interested. I was very surprised that I could be a registered nurse away from the bedside, use all my nursing education, all my nursing skills, and still help with patient advocacy and things like that, but on the documentation side. So I applied and I started working as a CDI in 2019. And then a few months later, the COVID pandemic started. So as a department, we all went home remotely. And after a few months, just seeing the increased quality and productivity of our work, we became a fully remote department. And I was just blown away because I never imagined as a nurse that I could work from home and it was a permanent position from home. So I just, just the work-life balance, which I'll talk about in a little bit, was just something I'm grateful for. One thing that I made sure I obtained was my CCDS certification. I wanted to become certified from the moment I started this position. They didn't require me to be certified upon starting the job, but they highly recommended it. They preferred it. And I wanted to make sure I obtained it. So I studied hard. And after 2 years, I could sit for this certification and I passed. And within 2 months, so this is the greatness of getting this certification. Within 2 months, I'm currently in a lead CDI position. So just going from working at the bedside to going remote as a nurse, getting my certification, and now I'm in a lead position, just blows me away. When I first started CDI, I was scared that I was going to lose my bedside skills. So I was thinking about, oh, maybe I should work on the weekends because, I'm working Monday through Friday now. And I was just looking and I'm like, no, that's going to be too much. And I just realized that I'm not losing my skills. I'm using my skills just in a different way. I'm using my education and all of my experience in reading these charts and seeing where there's gaps, where the coding might not flush through by the time the patient is discharged. And when I'm talking with providers, I'm using all of my education, all of my skills, so that I could communicate with them in a way where I can help the patient. Even though I'm not at the bedside, we're still advocating for the patient's story to be correctly written in a quality way. So I just wanted to kind of lean on the benefits from working from home. I'm not on my feet for hours. I remember days where I barely could take my lunch breaks. I can take my lunch breaks. I'm not sitting in traffic because you can't get that time back. You can save on gas and parking, and you can work in your PJs depending on what position you obtain. But for me, you know, if you don't feel like getting dressed, if you don't have a meeting, you don't have to, wear, specific type of clothes, I should say. Instead of, having your scrubs and deciding, what you're going to wear for the week, you don't have to have that stress. Something for me, I'm a new mom, and my daughter, for the first time, she got a cold. So because I took on this lead position, I didn't want to risk trying to take care of her from home and learning a new role. So I started her in daycare, but she got a cold. Everyone knows daycare, germ spread. So today I actually was able to take care of her and be highly productive in my job and not have to use PTO. My manager didn't have to worry about filling in the gap for me not being there. And it just, another thing that I was grateful for. I don't know how people do it. They would have to call off of work. They would have to, lose time, and, the job is having to fill in for you for your absence. I think that this webinar, the ebooks, the courses are invaluable because you're literally investing in yourself and investing in your family. I did not know this existed. I happened to come upon it, but most nurses don't know, and they work for 30, 40, 50 years, retire. But this is invaluable. So I think the fact that you're here, the fact that you're educating yourself and going to start these courses, you're just investing in yourself and in your family, in your health, even in your mental health. Just the stress of, constantly working on the floor and things like that can take a toll on you. So just opening your mind to working remotely and having better balance, and you can play your music in the background, and it's just a comfortable environment versus being on the nursing floor, on the units. So that's just a little bit about me. I just hope that I inspire you to consider what there is to offer here, because it's just a whole new world.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Donita, for sharing your story. And guys, I'm going to ask Donita a question, and this is just a very simple question. How much of your nursing education and your ICU med-surg experience are you applying to your current job as a lead CDI specialist?
I am using a ton, a lot of my education and experience. When I read these charts, I have to know and understand the story the provider is writing about. I'm not at the bedside. I'm not taking care of the patient in person, but I'm reading what's going on with the patient. I'm reading the flow of the charting. I'm looking at the labs, the imaging, the consultation notes, even the outside records, and I'm seeing what the doctors are writing, looking at the lab work. Is this going to be an issue when it comes time to code or build this chart, depending on what the doctor is saying? And absolutely, I'm using my nursing skills. If I wasn't a nurse, I really could not do this position. If I didn't have a healthcare background, this would be a different language. So you have to know the language of medical communication, I should say, is very valuable for this job. It's a must.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anita. One last question. Are you able to renew your nursing license with this job?
Absolutely. That is something I was concerned about. Not only, like I said before, losing my skills, but losing my license. And no, this is a registered nurse position. In fact, I have to maintain my license in order to work in this position.
Thank you so much. Is there any other thing you want everyone listening to I mean, what do you want to, like, your parting words?
Basically, what's on my heart is basically, if you're here for a reason, and you're gonna benefit off of all the information that is here from Dr. John. There's a reason you're here. Take it from me. It's so much different in a great way to work remotely as a nurse. I never imagined to be able to do this. When people hear that I'm a nurse and I work from home, you should see their face. It's invaluable that you're getting this information. So please, please, please don't take it for granted that you're here. You're here for a reason.
Can everybody in the chat box just type in, thank you, Danita. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for sharing your story. Let's keep this active. We're almost done. Awesome. I see thank you. I see thank you. Wow. Somebody says on caps. Thank you so much. Thank
Absolutely.
you. Yeah. Awesome. Wow. Thank you. Yes. So I'm going to go straight to help you get into CDI very well. I mean, this is the part that I want you to pay attention. Make sure you're close to your screen so you don't miss out on anything. Now, let's get you that high-paying job. Let's get you that CDI job. But before we do so, we're going to give you something for free. We're going to have our team members post this link in your chat box now. We are giving free downloadable ebook on the 50 disruptive healthcare careers. 50. It's also available on Amazon Kindle, but I'm giving it to you for free because you stay till the end of this webinar. So go ahead now and click on that and save it somewhere while we still go ahead to see more products that we have for you on how to pivot into this job as a CDI specialist. Now, I'm also giving, because you joined tonight, a 43% discount on our online self-paced course on how to break into CDI healthcare job market. Guys, I mean, I don't know anywhere else you will find a step-by-step self-paced model on how to land this job. And I mean, in details on resume rebranding, everything for you, LinkedIn rebranding, everything is done for you. And it's important. I didn't update that slide, but it's important to know that it's $129. It's a $300 value. It's available to you now as we speak. So this is an old slide, but it's important to you that it's available now as we speak. So if you can go ahead and post this link for you to obtain this, it's just $129. I mean, most of us will go, if I check your current Amazon cart right now, I can see some things that are over $500 in your Amazon cart. Am I correct? Yes. Somebody's, yes. So please invest in yourself. Like Danita said, invest in yourself, and you can access it tonight. What else do we have? We have now, if you want a personalized coaching, meaning you can schedule, you have a 3-hour session, dedicated session. I would review, if you want to pivot into any other informatics, if it's CDI, I will walk you through. Have experience in consulting, I have experience in management. So I can help you from start to finish, resume building, interview preparation, LinkedIn rebranding, job recruiting liaison. We are working with a CDI Academy company, a third-party company, who they are willing to give scholarships, are willing to give a partnership in training you for 4 days online, and you will get into CDI directly. These are all fringe benefits of your one-on-one private coaching call with me. And you will they'll place you in jobs because they have a contract with hospitals. What a way to get into CDI without sweat, without breaking a sweat. So guys, this is a $499 coaching session. It's 3 hours, but you can schedule it 1 hour at a time. You can schedule maybe once I give you your assignments, you go do other things, and you would come back again. But this is me working with you personally with all my expertise. I'm an associate director for CDI at a very thriving hospital here in the southeast area. So please, I have a word of experience, and I can help you land that job. I can help you. This is a $1,500 value that you're getting it tonight for just $499. And this is just helping you to transition into that remote job. So this is, you don't want to miss this, guys. Go ahead and sign up. And because you joined tonight, we have a bundle package. Everything, the free book is free already. So you have access to our online community and everything here for $2,000 value is going for just $529 only. So the $129 for the online self-paced course on how to break into CDI, and the one-on-one coaching session with Dr. John. So this is the time we've been waiting for. Now, the question and answers button is active. So go ahead and ask your questions. We also have Danita also waiting to answer questions if you want to ask questions directly to Danita or anything like that, or you want to ask me questions, please go ahead and ask your questions so that we can take some questions. So please, team members, please let me know if any question comes in. Or before we do that, has this been helpful? Anybody in the chat box, go ahead and type, is this helpful? Has this been helpful to you? Anybody? Is this information helpful? Very much so. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Joy says yes. Awesome. I'm loving it. Awesome. This is great. Yes, this has been helpful. Okay. So any questions? I mean, I must have done a good job explaining this. Great overview of potential jobs. Awesome. Very insightful, Ambry. Awesome. Amanda, thank you. This is great feedback. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So guys, I want you to take opportunity on those products, and make sure you download the free ebook if you've not. Thank you. Someone Gifted says thank you. Fallon says thank you. Oh, awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Adding the links
go ahead.
one more time. Yes, I will be adding the links one more time so that it is available to everyone in our group today.
Awesome. Awesome. So then also you'll be getting an email after this with the links as well. So you're not missing out anything if you miss out, if you don't get the links now. You'll get an email with the links. So we want to give you 5 minutes back of your time. If you don't have any questions, I've checked the question box. That means I've done an excellent. But Danita, you did a fantastic job, by the way. Ale, awesome. That means no questions.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. Now I want you to do something for me, everyone on this call. Ale, take us home. How do we join Force Consulting?
Yes, so we just want you guys to go ahead and follow us on Instagram. If you have any follow-up questions or anything related to some of the information that Dr. John or Danita have shared with us there, we can email at info@fosconsulting.org. And also, when you follow these links, you will automatically be taken to fosconsulting.org website, and there you will find some contact information for Fos Consulting.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I really, really thank you for taking out 1 hour of your time this evening to be a part of this webinar. It's a free webinar, but valuable information. I wish I knew about all this earlier on, but I'm giving to you for free. It's left to you to do something with it. So thank you also to Danita for being a panelist, and also our very good owner, Andrea Martinez, moderator for excellence. Thank you all so much, and have a great evening. Bye for now.
Thank you. Good night,
Thank
everyone.
you.